through and through.
To return to the Western Oval, where I've spent the last 17 years of my life, I'm really looking forward to the challenge, and I'll be doing my utmost to make it a successful period here.
The Tigers are also determined to get away to a good start, having finished on the bottom of the ladder last year and having had to fend off the perception that they were on the skids. Coach Kevin Bartlett is guiding a club with 80 years behind it.
I've always believed that once the colours are up and you're representing the club, well then always at stake is the pride and the prestige of the club, and therefore you should give your best all the time.
Good evening and welcome to VFL Park for Seven Sports' first football telecast for 1990. And of course the start of the new decade means that football is now being played under the banner of the AFL, which changed its name in the off-season. Tonight's match is a first round contest in the Foster's Cup, a rich tournament, and the Foster's Cup tonight, or for the season, worth $312,000. Great way to get underway. Well, last year, late in the season, Footscray were faced with extinction, having finished second last on the VFL ladder last year. Richmond finished bottom of the ladder, so both teams have a lot to prove tonight, and they'll be keen to get the season 1990 off and running in a positive manner. Well, we've already met the coaches. Let's take a look at the men in charge of both clubs. And we see at Footscray, Terry Wheeler, the new coach, and Doug Hawkins becomes the third captain in 3 seasons, the favourite son of the Western Oval. At Richmond, no change, Kevin Bartlett, and Dale Waitman is the captain for tonight. Joining me in the commentary box tonight, Ian Robertson and Don Scott. Evening, boys.
Good evening, Drew.
Ian.
Pleasure to be here, Donny.
My word.
Last time we did this with London, huh?
And different weather too.
Only seemed like yesterday.
But it's going to be a good game tonight, I think, because both these sides have got a bit to prove.
Yeah, well, I'm wrapped that Footscray have been able to survive, and just looking at their full back line, Hogg, a good young player, Harrington and Tatzaris against Lee, Stockdale and Nichols for the Tigers. How does that look to you?
Well, I had a criticism last year of Footscray. I thought they were a little bit too defensive, especially on the back line, and they really didn't give their forwards an opportunity. But looking there, we've got Wigney, who's I was very impressed with last year. And they say he's much fitter. Wallace, well, interesting to see him lining up there. But Mitchell, interesting that he's come back after that injury last year. He came back on about the 15th of January to join.
Yeah, scintillating player is Michael Mitchell. This could be the 2 lines that could win or lose the game. Across the centre line here at VFL Park, if the Footscray centre line, Terry Wallace in the centre and Hawkins, their new skipper, against the likely line-up there of Richmond centre.
Just interesting looking at the lineups. We should also tell the viewers that players are versatile nowadays and they could line up anyway. This is the way we think they will line up, and Foster could be at centre half back, for example. Nixon centre half forward, normally a back, normally a ruckman. And
Footscray is one of their recruits for the season, Glenn Coleman, who's had a couple of sides already in the competition. Young Campbell, an up-and-comer. Now we have the followers up. Atkins, a Footscray player, with Cousins doing the ruck work against Honeybun and Lambert.
Well, there's quite a buzz of excitement here. A lot of people can't wait for the football season to start. Here we are on the 7th of February, and naturally Footscray, I think, will get the bulk of the support tonight after nearly going out of business late last season. We'll be back for the kick-off to season 1990 shortly.
Ireland, Bulldogs through and through.
You know the West is close to my heart. It is to ICI too. ICI stood up for the West. Now we need you to keep fighting for Footscray and for football. Please become a 1990 member. Call Bass.
Bulldogs fight and Bulldogs fight. Remember 89. No, you can't beat the boys of the Bulldog breed who saved old Footscray's name.
For Richmond and Footscray to win tonight, and I must say VFL Park looks a real picture. The forecast is for a fine night with the possibility of showers later on. The temperature is 22.2 degrees Celsius, the relative humidity 66%, the wind, slight swirling winds, but no real goal advantage for either side, and the ground conditions excellent, the best I've seen for a long time.
Michael Roberts on the boundary line, and he'll be joined during the evening by Peter McKenna. Quickly, a couple of the rules that'll be different for this season Foster's Cup. The automatic adding of time on at the signal of the boundary and goal umpires is a change, and charging of an opponent has come down from 5 metres to 3 metres. And if the scores are level, extra time will be played, 5 minutes each way. Remember the game last year, Eagles and Hawthorn, where they played on to get a winner. The umpires are wearing microphones this year for the Foster's Cup, And season 1990 gets underway.
Here we go, the Tigers versus the Bulldogs. And already there's a free kick being picked out of it at the centre bounce. Before the ball is bounced, the ball will go to Mark Lee. And there's a jostle for behind play. It could be Hawkins involved, but Lee's kick goes up towards half forward. And the mark has been taken by Tatsaris. Tatsaris towards the members' side. And there's the captain, Dougie Hawkins. What a player he's been for the Bulldogs. Onto the left foot. The kick is a bit of a bad one. It goes up towards half forward. Cullen swoops on the ball for Footscray. Onto that favoured left foot. Cullen goes long towards full forward. Out in front, Campbell takes the mark, and he's about 46 metres from goal.
It's interesting, those two players in the altercation as Campbell plays on quickly into the forward pocket. It's Wallace down there.
Wallace, struggle. McGuinness goes for goal. The snapshot is wide. Out of bounds on the full, and the free kick to be taken by Richmond.
Those two players in the altercation, Nixon and O'Keefe, playing on each other, respective forward pocket and back pocket players.
And they spent the first minute of the game not even watching each other. Well, it's a poor kick in and straight onto the chest of Atkins, just outside 50.
Many changes, Drew, as the teams didn't line up as we expected to. Too many, too numerous to mention.
Atkins going for the first goal of the year. Not a bad-looking kick, just offline for a minor score. 2 behinds to Footscray.
I suppose the notable change is Foster at centre-half back position.
1 behind to Footscray. McGuinness's first shot for goal missed.
Richmond interchange there was Gary Frangalis, as the kick-in is taken by Lees out wide. Mitchell, what a scintillating player he is. Knights is well tackled, goes back after it. Intercepting is Eccleston. He's a goer for Footscray. Now Mitchell swoops on it. He can't break clear. The pressure's pretty good. The player now with the ball is Craig Smith. Craig Smith for the Tigers. Kicks the ball into the centre. Chipping in nicely and taking the mark is Foster. And a little late on the scene was Goodwin. Foster gets around the opposition player, and Foster goes for goal. The long kick in towards full forward. Is a chance for Footscray, but the kick by Lees. Now it's kicked off the ground, but it may have been over the line. No, it's hit the post. And it's another behind on the scoreboard to Footscray. There's Terry Wallace, a prolific possession gatherer for Footscray. And Egan on the interchange bench there for Richmond as well. The kick in goes towards Lee. He punches the ball on. Swooping on the ball is Cullen. Hand pass over the top. Brunner can't take the possession of the ball. Stephen Wallace pushed off it. Now Ryan's under lots of pressure. Here's a chance now for Coleman. He gets the ball to McGuinness. The tackling's pretty good for the first match of the season. Kick off the ground. Knights on the top of the ball, and he's been interfered with there by Terry Wallace, and surely the free kick will go to Matthew Knights right on that full back line.
And as you expect, a very enthusiastic start by both these sides. There we see Terry Wallace, no doubt about that.
Kick in, almost straight up the ground. Bouncing for Ryan, gets the hand pass away. McKellar, his kick up towards centre wing on the new AFL logo there. Wigney, just inside the boundary line, sweeps the hand pass to the favourite son, Dougie Hawkins. Gets around Waitman, the opposing captains tonight. And poor kick, and it's on the chest of Smith. Smith goes across the ground. No gain in territory, but kept possession to Ryan. Open play up on the outer side, Richmond here. Short pass up the ground finds Michael Thompson, the ex-bomber. Long kick to centre half forward. Over the top. No mark taken. In goes Mitchell. We thought we might never see him in footy again. Mitchell gets the hand pass away. Waitman goes out wide with the hand pass. Snapped by Honeybun. Offline, no score. Out of bounds on the full.
If we go back to the centre-half back position, bad play then by Hogg. He tried, a little fellow, he tried to mark over the back, should have punched the ball forward.
The short kick goes towards Harrington. Harrington's at half back for Footscray. Left foot kick now by Harrington towards centre wing. No mark taken by Wigney. Ball at the back. Craig Smith. Little short kick is pretty effective. It finds Lee. Lee goes up towards the 50-metre line. Kicks up towards full forward. But the kick, it's a free kick.
Now, there was a shepherd too far away, I think I heard the umpire say, so that's the first application of that one.
Right, fair enough. And the free kick taken by Hogg for Footscray. Kicks the ball wide towards centre wing. High over the top. Cousins couldn't take the ball. Now's a chance for Coleman, who's been prominent early for the Bulldogs. His third VFL club. Goes towards O'Keefe. Punched away by Nixon. Brunner, good play. Over to McGuinness. McGuinness up inside 50 metres. A poor kick by Tony McGuinness. The mark nearly taken by Lees. Cullen dropping the ball. Attempted kick off the ground, and it's rushed through for a behind. And Cullen expresses his disappointment to the umpire.
It's good combination work between Brunner and McGuinness on that outer flank. Brunner looks as if he's got a little bit of pace.
Well, we haven't had a goal kick yet, but hasn't it been frantic to start the season? Comes off to Knights, goes for the short passes, beautifully delivered. That's a magnificent kick. Richmond running away with Ryan. Up towards centre half forward. All Footscray. Foster couldn't mark. Comes to Waitman. Waitman standing start. Spears the pass up. Well delivered. And the mark is taken by James.
It's amazing how players look different from one season to the other. Bomber James looks as if he's fine down, obviously put in a big pre-season.
Just inside 50 metres. His left footer is offline. So still we don't have a goal on the board.
Yes, that was probably bad play there by James. Well within scoring distance. He should have capitalised.
That's it.
And you don't often get chances from that distance. Harrington, the Footscray player. By the way, the black armbands are in remembrance of one of the young Footscray players who unfortunately tragically killed in a water skiing accident on New Year's Day, and that was Ron James. And what a bad loss that was for Footscray and his teammates tonight, wearing the black armbands in remembrance of Ronnie James. The ball out of bounds on the Footscray half-forward line, Richmond half-forward line rather, on the members' side. Lee doing the ruck work. Cousins. The ball comes out the back. Smith, who's about third or fourth possession early in the game. This kick is a bit offline and goes over the boundary line. And Don, that's one of the things that's pretty obvious early. The kicking has been poor so far in this match.
Well, yeah, it's only natural, isn't it? It's the 7th of February, unless they've been working on it for a number of weeks. And you've got to remember, a pre-season or first game, they've been kicking the ball for nearly 6 weeks and into club games. So naturally enough, skill level down a bit.
Okay, Honeybun doing the ruck work this time against Cousins. The ball at the bottom of the pack. Footscray striving hard in defence. Wigney can't break clear. Good smother by Waitman. Comes out to Foster. Gather by Goodwin. Collect by Wigney is good play. And somehow he finds his way through that very, very busy traffic. The ball comes out towards centre wing. It's on half back, rather. And Cullen takes the mark for Footscray.
Kick by Cullen up over the wing. And an excellent mark taken by Coleman. Well, that's why Footscray picked him up in the national draft last November. They wanted marking. How he's played on and run out of bounds.
Well, that's typical Glenn Coleman, isn't it? He'll do something good, which was a great mark, and then he decided to play on, not realising where he was. Out of bounds, you lose the ball.
Well, bad mistake that for the Bulldogs. Boundary throw in. Flipped out the back. Play on, is the umpire going to call? No, Footscray free kick. He's coming back here to Atkins. On centre wing. There's the AFL logo. The venue still called VFL Park, though. Atkins to centre half forward. Was that a push out? Play on, rules the umpire. At the back, Pym. Short of centre wing. Punched away from Mitchell. Great courage shown there, and a free kick to Footscray.
O'Keefe.
Played 9 games last year. Spears this one in low, but straight to the opposition onto the chest of Michael Thompson.
Thompson is between full-back and centre half-back. Goes out to the outer side. Long kick. Punch away. Now has a chance for Footscray through Hunter. Gets it on to McGuinness. McGuinness a little chip. Wallace, that's Terry, overruns the ball. And in the back pocket for Richmond, Lees takes the ball over the boundary line for throw-in. A couple of young Tiger supporters interested here at VFL Park in their team's future. Lee gets a ball down. Here's a chance now for Lambert. Attempted hand pass wide. Goes to Knights. Good young player, Matthew Knights. Kicks the ball into open space. Leading in the race for the ball is Ryan. Cullen a good tackle. Ball comes out the back. Now an opportunity for young Hamilton. He gets the ball to McKellar. McKellar's kick up towards half forward. Attempted mark there by Kieran. He can't mark. Wigney, strong player Wigney, and he's rewarded for his efforts with a free kick. Plays on quickly, gets the short pass out to Stephen Wallace.
Gee, quite a lot of solid bumps going on here, and there's nothing like match play. Don't know how long they'll go at this pace. Centering kick by Hawkins to centre half forward. Flipped through the pack by Campbell. Brunner. VFL debut at 25. Up to Atkins. Down towards the forward pocket. McGuinness outnumbered 2-1. And Lees makes sure the ball goes out of bounds in Richmond's back pocket.
He's figuring prominently, Brunner, laying some great tackles in the forward pocket, using his pace and also has got great awareness of players around, as evidenced by that handball.
Chance here for Footscray to get the first goal of the night. Through goes Terry Wallace. Can't gain control. O'Keefe loses it. Comes out the back. Smith, who's been prominent, goes to Thompson. Thompson to the far side of the ground. Mitchell stays at the back and is outmarked beautifully. Good mark by Eccleston.
Eccleston short kick, centering. Cousins doesn't mark. Quick with the left foot, up towards full forward. Safe mark taken in the last line of defence there by Pym. He plays on quickly, kicks it wide, looking out there for Ryan. Good collect by Atkins. Left foot kick into the pocket, punch away by Lees' good defensive work. Pym, gather again by Atkins. Was that a drop kick? No, the ball has to go back. Hard up against the boundary line where the field umpire has awarded. Don, was that a free kick to young Pym? Yes, a little difficult, push in the back. The short kick has been marked by Wallace. That's Terry Wallace. And he's out of the centre by the look of it, Terry Wallace, in that forward pocket or maybe half-forward flank. Big punch there by the Richmond defence, and it goes through for another rush behind to Footscray.
5 metres, thanks, Footscray.
Well, Footscray having most of the attack, but 4 behinds to 1 behind. Kick to a big pack on the far side. Cousins punches away from Lee. Comes to Terry Wallace. His hand pass is blocked by Mitchell. And the ball out of play. Well, Michael Mitchell played just a handful of games at the start of last season, but a series of knocks to the head. He was ruled unfit for the rest of the year, went back to Western Australia, and we wondered whether we'd ever see him back. But here he is on the 7th of February. Smith takes the ball over the line and we'll have a throw in. So that's great news because he's an exciting player, Michael Mitchell. And it's the sort of player who might fire the Tigers to move up the ladder after they ran last year, mostly without his services. Atkins knocks the ball back outside 50. Steve Wallace, last year's captain, lost the role this year to Hawkins. Back to Wallace, but he was in all sorts of trouble. Knights threads out a good hand pass. Lambert, who loves the hand pass game. Away go the Tigers, up towards centre half forward. Poor old kick though, it bounces through the pack. Who's first back there? Hunter. And a great kick across the ground to his skipper. Hawkins down the broadcast wing. Puts it up short. Bounces well for O'Keefe, but he fumbles. Back to Hawkins. Hawkins' subterranean hand pass is good. Cullen over the top, finding space, Footscray. This is a good build-up. Wigney up from defence. Man on his own is Terry Wallace, and he's marked about 45 metres from goal.
Whistle testing.
2 minutes, Michael.
Actually, that was a great build-up. I was interested in Doug Hawkins, the way he kicked the ball, then ran on. Haven't seen Doug Hawkins do that at all last year, maybe because he was injured.
Terry Wallace's kick into the goal square. Could even be a goal. Has that gone over the top? I'd say yes. It has. Goal.
There are 50 states in America, but some airlines can't fly you to anywhere near 50. Fact is, some airlines just fly you from Australia to the West Coast. Then you're on your own. But one airline flies you to the States in the world's newest aircraft.
Welcome to America.
Then on to 200 American cities. United Airlines.
Welcome to United's friendly skies.
Fly United and discover what's new in the friendly skies.
So Terry Wallace in picture, the sole goal scorer for the match so far. Bulldogs leading by 9 points. Bounce back in the centre, punch out by Lee. Hand pass over the top. Smith smothered when he tried to gain possession. Now Footscray come forward again through Stephen Wallace. Up towards full forward. No mark taken. Tigers under pressure on the last line of defence. Nixon gathers the ball pretty well. The President, hand pass over the top, goes out wide to Lees. Lees, a short pass, is effective and finds Lambert. Lambert, left foot pass out wide towards Mitchell. Can he outrun Eccleston? The race is on. Mitchell trying to gather the football. Eccleston, good pressure. Hard up against the boundary line. Mitchell looking for a free kick. Or looking for sympathy from the boundary umpire maybe. But we'll have a throw in between wing and half forward favouring the Tigers.
He's got explosive pace. Michael Mitchell, as we saw John Schultz on screen, what a great player he was.
Very congested pack here. Through goes Mitchell. The hand pass eventually out from Kieran. Chopped off by Steve Wallace for Footscray. Back to centre wing. Coleman can't take the mark. Through goes Mark Lee. Eventually Knights with a hand pass in field. Charging onto that one is Powell. Caught. Comes to Terry Wallace. He's kicked just over the centre. Oh, excellent mark. A beauty by Nixon.
What a great tackle by young Hogg there just a few seconds ago, Drew.
Nixon from the back of the centre square, only up to the centre circle, so not much distance, especially when they've lost control of the ball. Nixon will have to do it again. Does so this time to the front of the square. It's knocked on, but Hawkins has got a bit of space here. Gets a run from Steve Wallace. Wallace wide for Cullen. Cullen will now have to become the tackler. And that was well played by young Greg Hamilton. Off to McKellar. McKellar at centre wing. Up towards centre half forward he goes. Lambert. Hawkins, great skills.
Terrific play by Dougie Hawkins. He's creating lots across that half-back line and centre wing. Oh, shocking tackle by Goodwin. And Hawkins has the last laugh, and that man's got a bit of a black eye. Number 14 for Richmond is young Darren Kieran. The ball from Foster goes up towards half forward. Wallace gathers well. That's Terry Wallace. Out wide to Cullen, promising player. McGuinness is on the end of the chain of hand passes. McGuinness goes long, kicks it wide, gives Campbell a chance to run at it. Lee's the defender. Campbell talented. Can he gain possession? Yes. Onto the right foot. The short pass. No, it's a little high. And it goes across the face, and frustration on the face there of Stephen Wallace as Richmond will take the free kick in the back pocket.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he was looking for that player, his teammate, but the ball just had too much carry on that occasion. He could have definitely gone for goal from that position.
Dale Waitman, the Richmond captain for this evening. Tigers yet to announce their captain for season 1990. The ball at half forward for Footscray. Nixon striving hard. Brunner's in there for Footscray. He gathers the ball, but the umpire's whistle is gone. So we'll have a ball up on the 50-metre line for Footscray, well within scoring distance.
Kevin Bartlett watching intently. The loser here has got a pretty tough start to the season. Nice little hand pass out here to Hawkins. Hawkins centering kick. Campbell, good mark.
Gee, that's developing into a fantastic players, both very talented players. Campbell, who had 21 goals last year, Footscray's leading goal kicker, a really talented, well-built footballer, very athletic, and Lays, who was rejected by Hawthorn, fourth in the club's best and fairest, and really proving himself a tight league defender.
Doesn't say a lot for Footscray's attack last year when 21 goals was their leading goal kicker. Maybe things will be different this year under Terry Wheeler. Mike Malthouse has departed to go to Perth. That's a poor kick by Campbell for a behind.
Yes, he hasn't got much for his efforts, has he? Campbell gathering the ball in that forward pocket just a few minutes ago. And kicked it over the head of Steve Wallace, and there an opportunity, a bad miss. Lees for Richmond to kick in, goes to the outer side. Running onto it there was Lee. Waitman, where a rover should be, at the bottom of the pack. The quick kick goes towards Mitchell, but Eppleton doing a pretty good job on Mitchell. Smothers the ball over the boundary line. Not a bad crowd here either, Don, for the first match of the season.
No, a good crowd, obviously because of Footscray's plight, but just interesting watching Michael Mitchell. They're a little bit frustrated. He hasn't played football for nearly 12 months and just can't get the touch of the ball at the moment.
Coleman, Smith, Ryan. And it finishes up with McKellar for Richmond. He's wide of centre. McKellar with that, what would you call that, an unusual hairstyle? Peculiar hairstyle?
I was going to call it a shocking hairstyle.
Or an Alan McKellar hairstyle.
If you had one, you'd give it back.
Alan McKellar for the Tigers, over the centre, up towards centre half forward. Mark taken by Cousins, plays on, Eppleton. Steve Wallace is stolen by Mitchell. Brilliant play by the Tiger small man, and Honeybun takes the mark. He's a little too far out to score, David Honeybun, looking to play on quickly. Kicks it up towards full forward. Opportunity there for James. Swooping on it as Waitman. Oh, was that in the back against Wigney? No, play-on, says the umpire. Steve Wallace on the bottom of the pack for Footscray, and the umpire will come in and ball it up.
Yeah, claims for an in the back there, didn't he?
It was very tight, I would have thought, but umpire Carland on this occasion, and umpire Coates, the other central umpire officiating. And a ball up, only metres from the Tiger goal. Kick out by Hogg. Out towards centre half-back. Mitchell can't mark. Kick by Smith. Long kick is a goal to Richmond.
In 1889, the Duckham started making this product. Since then, it's helped achieve the impossible. Altitude records, world land speed records, and that great engineering breakthrough, the East-West engine. Today, this extraordinary product is so good.
The oil, sir.
That Duckham's will actually double your car's engine warranty. Duckham's Oil. Double your engine warranty.
Been a good player, Craig Smith, playing in the centre tonight for the Tigers. Bounce back in the centre. Lee wins the tap and keeps on going with it. Hurried kick by Steve Wallace. Tackle was too high. Advantage is not being played here. It's coming back to Steve Wallace, about 50 metres back. Actually, maybe the umpires this season might change their interpretation, perhaps, of the play-on rule. It caused a lot of controversy last year. Now they move it up towards half-forward, and there's a push in the back. And a free kick here to Eccleston. Told to play on. Pym comes at him, just gets a touch on him. Play on again. Spears the pass in low to Campbell, who dives to mark.
And it's great to see a fullback. The fullback on that occasion, Tim Harrington, coming up to the wing. He initiated that play. It takes a lot of courage to run, as Harrington did, down the ground. He created the opportunity to Eccleston, finally with Campbell. It's good to see the fullback running down the ground.
I hope this guy realises his true potential. What a great player he can be for Footscray.
Going for his first goal of the night. Distance about 40 metres. Well, he's hooked it very badly for another behind. Bernie Quinlan loves him. He comes from Traralgon.
See, they've bred a few down that way, haven't they? In the Latrobe Valley in general, but Traralgon specifically. Terrific stuff. Lees again to the outer side. Mitchell flying high from in front. It's punched away by Eccleston. Punched away by Thompson. Over the top goes Pym. Underneath it, Lambert. Brunner late on the scene. Good defensive work by the Rover. And McGuinness striving hard. Can't control the ball. It goes over for a boundary throw-in.
Brunner gets the opportunity to go up the ground, Ian, because he's working well. He works well in the forward line. Let's see what he can do around the ground.
Coleman. Kick off the ground by Atkins. Is wide. Out of bounds on the full, as signalled by the boundary umpire, and the free kick will go to Pym. He's between back pocket and half back, just outside the 50-metre line. Chris Pym kicks the ball towards centre wing. Marking contest, no one can control it. Goodwin gathers the ball, tackled by Cousins. Ball comes out the back rugby style. Knights has possession, can't break away, and the field umpire very quick to jump in there, as perhaps he could see something brewing. And a bounce will take place between centre wing and half forward, favouring the Bulldogs. A free kick in that ruck contest. It's going against Cousins. Couldn't see that, Don.
My word, it was there, and Lee starting to dominate that position. It's good to see Lee putting himself in. Cousins will have to get in front, put his body in more.
Lee's hand pass goes to Thompson. Thompson's kick towards half forward. Foster nearly takes a freakish mark. Courage shown by Hogg. Opportunity now for Knights. Onto the left foot goes Matthew Knights. Up towards full forward, and nearly a spectacular mark taken by James. It's not paid. Play on goes Honeybun. Right foot kick across his body is perfect. Goal, David Honeybun.
Nobody knows Melbourne like 7.
In a dramatically changing world, yesterday's news service just isn't good enough anymore.
Each day, about 1,500 East Germans are...
There are new issues, new problems, new priorities.
The company says its daily emissions are below...
You need a news service that's part of this new world. Up to date, professional, ready.
More bad news on the economy.
You need 7 nightly news. Today's news.
Well, Richmond believed this week that everybody was talking about Footscray, and nearly everybody forgot that there was another team playing. And Richmond have now hit the front. The tap down comes to Terry Wallace. He's kicked no distance. He was knocked over and will get a free kick.
Made sure the umpire saw that.
Well, he was a failure at Richmond after a long career at Hawthorn, but in 2 seasons at Footscray, he's won the club best and fairest, Terry Wallace. Here's a good defensive mark to Richard Nixon, the president. Back he goes with the hand pass to Pym. High kick over half-back flank. Hawkins with Ryan, pushing the back. Free kick to Doug Hawkins.
He's a different player, isn't he?
Well, the captaincy might do Doug Hawkins the world of good. He's played 220-odd games of league football, and he's been around a long time. 222 games, started in 1978. Campbell climbs high, all Richmond at the back. Lees punches out, all Footscray ground level. Wallace, kicked well smothered. Close to the boundary line. McGuinness, good gather. He was out, ball was in. Oh. What a goal! Sensational goal by Tony McGuinness, and Footscray back in front, 2-6 to 2-1.
Well, very hard to describe that goal. You've just got to see that. A picture, this is where a picture is worth 1,000 words. Fantastic. Now watch this, he's a left foot kick, but the ball on the right side of his body, and it goes from left to right. Absolutely fantastic skill.
CLASS. Class. Written all over that. Great play by McGuinness. Footscray, 5 points in front. Waitman towards full forward. The kick is slightly astray. Tatsaris, left foot kick under pressure. Out wide, Eppelston. Right foot kick goes high. Gathers about 40 metres, and a great mark taken by Steve Wallace, and he's playing pretty well too. The hand pass goes wide to McGuinness. Over the top, Coleman. Crashing his way through as goes Glenn Coleman up towards full forward. The ball will bounce through. It does, but just to the right side of the goalpost. And unfortunately for the Bulldogs, a behind is the score.
They're running a lot better.
They've played well, 9 scoring shots to 3.
They're running a lot better off the back line. It's already evident. Last year, very static back line. Didn't give the forwards the opportunity to score goals. This year, they're running better, or early in this game anyway.
Lee's kick in gave Smith a bit of a problem, but eventually finds Hamilton up towards the centre of the ground, and the mark taken by Goodwin. Wide open forward line, Andy Goodwin. Poor kick though, straight to Hogg, who takes an uncontested mark. Matthew Hogg of Footscray. Back to centre wing. Foster on all fours, but the ball held in there by Goodwin, and the umpire will ball it up. Now, one thing to notice that's different, now that we have an AFL, the umpire's socks are different.
Well, there you go. You're very observant, aren't you? And that umpire with the different socks is about to bounce the ball on centre wing on the outer side. Lee in front, can't do much with it, but umpire decides that a free kick should be given to Mark Lee. A little fortunate, I would have thought. The ruckman contesting it pretty well. The kick towards half forward, Goodwin can't mark. He was in front of Foster. The ball comes out somehow. Hogg's on the end of it. The kick in towards the centre, and the mark is taken by O'Keefe, but the siren has sounded, and O'Keefe is in the centre of the ground, so he gives the ball up to the central umpire. And at quarter time, Footscray lead by 6 points. The Bulldogs 2-7-19, lead Richmond 2-1-13.
Footscray in that first quarter, 9 scoring shots to 3, but they lead by just 6 points. Goals to McGuinness and Terry Wallace, and for Richmond, goals to Craig Smith and David Honeybun. Down on the boundary line and snooping on the coaches, Peter McKenna and Michael Roberts.
Well, Kevin Bartlett said keep attacking, going hard for the ball. They're breaking down terribly across the half-forward line, so he wants his forwards to play in front. And there's a slight breeze out here, so he wants to go straight down the middle at VFL Park.
Terry Wheeler, on the other hand, he's very, very happy with the commitment. Great example shown by the captain Hawkins, and he asked them to go straight down the middle also. Keep up the hard work. They're breaking down up forward. Use the ball a little bit better up forward. And they found out you're allowed a handball from a free kick tonight, and Footscray knew nothing about it. So that's an interesting point.
You might have seen the logos on the teams out there. Tonight's match is also being played for the .05 Challenge Cup, both teams being sponsored by the Transport Accident Commission. Mark Lee getting a feel of the ball. There's Glenn Coleman, former Fitzroy, Sydney Swan, picked up in the national draft last November. A pretty entertaining first quarter of football.
My word, it had a lot of everything there. Very good endeavour early, great tackling, finishing off the latter part of the quarter with good skill.
So the second quarter about to start here at VFL Park. Footscray holding the advantage. They're 6 points in front. Lee gets the tap down. Waitman can't get his foot to the ball. Lee, tunnel ball style. McGuinness, Atkins can't get his foot to it. Lambert, Atkins again. Sneaking on it was Knight. Dispossessed by Hogg. Umpires picked the free kick out. It looks as though it's going to Footscray. Well, not quite picked that one out. And the Tiger player there Craig Lambert looking a little nonplussed as well. The free kick will go to Matthew Hogg in the centre of the ground. Matthew Knight's shaking his head.
The way the umpire indicated it was dropping the ball.
Well, it was pretty keen stuff there at that centre area. The kick up towards full court. Mark taken by Campbell.
You're right there,
now Campbell, I mentioned in the first quarter, enormous potential. Look at the build, 189 centimetres tall, brilliantly put together. So let's hope he can capitalise here. He's about 50 metres from goal. Floating kick is going to fall short. Mark taken by Brunner. Wallace it is. Well, Terry Wallace, determined look on his face there as he took that chest mark. And Wallace is only, what, 12 metres from goal. Wallace has kicked one. Drop punt kick. He hits the post.
Well, kick one from 45 metres and missed from about 20.
Well, it wasn't a good kick off the boot by Campbell, but playing in front as Terry Wallace did, you reap the reward, you gather the crumb. A good mark, bad finishing off.
McKellar back there in the back pocket for the Tigers. 20 plays 13, Footscray in front, early stages of the second quarter. Interference by both ruckmen, neither got it. Down goes Eccleston in the back. Fairly hear the call from the umpire, so free kick to Greg Eccleston on the wing tonight. Kick by Eccleston, up inside half forward. Campbell again, no, it's Coleman. Well, they have got some marking power on the forward line between Campbell. Coleman's taken a couple.
Round two.
Seemed to take that off the hands of Campbell on that occasion, but then again, he controlled it, brought it to ground.
Chance for Footscray to get a bit of a break here. Coleman's kick is good.
Glenn Coleman kicks his first goal and Footscray's third. And the Bulldogs lead by 13 points. Cousins doing the ruck work. Mark Lee. Cousins gets the tap out. Lambert can't break clear. Goodwin tries to handball it to himself. McGuinness is caught well. Smith the hand pass. Lambert now out wide to the advantage of Hamilton. Hamilton's kick. He was pushed in the backs as the umpire as he was about to kick. And the free kick will go to Greg Hamilton.
That is not the black makeup that they've sometimes worn at night. That is a shiner.
Hamilton's kick is fairly direct towards the front of the goals. Footscray defenders under pressure. Hawkins back there. Taps the ball away. Gathered by James. Hand pass over the top. No one home. Mitchell. Lambert. Can't get the hand pass away. Harrington runs into a brick wall in the form of Matthew Knights. Knights is in there again. Hogg does the good tackle. Atkins controls the ball pretty well. Simon Atkins, a left foot kick towards centre wing. And is that a mark? It's been paid by the central umpire, and it will go to Ryan for Richmond. Ryan's kick out wide, close to the boundary line, and the mark is taken by Powell.
Tim Powell told to play on. Goes for his kick, which is a wobbler down towards the boundary line. And it's run out by Tatsaris for a boundary throw-in. So a chance for the Tigers. 50 metres from goal. Honeybun over the top. Oh, good weaving by Lambert, the state representative, and what a good kick up towards the goal square. Tatsaris, and forced over the line by Steve Wallace for a throw-in about 8 metres around from the behind post. Richmond in attack, trailing 3 goals 8 to 2-1. Early stages, second quarter. Good start to the Foster's Cup competition. Steve Wallace back to Hawkins, who's covering ground. His hand pass up to centre half back to Atkins. Across the half back line he goes. What a clever kick that was. Running onto it is Hunter. Hunter's kick over centre wing. Cullen is there with O'Keefe. 2 against 2 here. Cullen, good speed. But Nixon got rid of him and saw the ball out.
So it was a bit of David and Goliath there. Big Richard Nixon and the diminutive Mark Cullen. Footscray 26, lead Richmond 13. Coleman and Mark Lee doing the ruck work. Lee gets the tap down. It finishes up with Terry Wallace. He gets the hand pass back to Hawkins. Hawkins on the left foot in towards the centre. They all leave it. At the back, Brunner Kicks it quickly to within the 50-metre line. Campbell, can he gather? No. Lees, close checking, taps it to his own advantage and breaks away. Ryan Lees, the kick in towards centre-half back. Sets up Ryan. He takes a good mark. Not paid. Hand passes off to Lambert. Lambert now, left foot kick, up towards half forward. Reading it pretty well was Wigney, and he takes the mark for Footscray at centre-half back. He gets the hand pass away to Hawkins. Hawkins has probably had 15 touches so far, and the kick finishes up with Eccleston. He plays on quickly. Onto the right foot. It slews off the side, back in towards the centre, and a good mark taken for Richmond by Hamilton. Hamilton's kick, up towards half forward. Punch away by Harrington. Ball comes out towards centre wing. Knights gathers the ball pretty well. Matthew Knights gets around his opposition, and the right foot kick high towards centre half forward, and a good mark has been taken there for Footscray by Foster.
Right there!
Well, that's the advantage of Coleman joining Footscray. It allows Peter Foster to go back and do his work in defence at centre half back. Up to Coleman. It's punched away from him, but he regains. Well played by Glenn Coleman. Oh, a little tippy toe up towards centre half forward. O'Keefe from behind goes the spoil. Comes up with the ball. Berry loses control of it, and Nixon for Richmond now. Gets the hand pass away. High tackle, but playing on with Smith. Gets it across to Pym. Bit of a dust-up behind play, but the umpire's there to sort it out. Lee can't handle. Sockers it accidentally backwards. Now here they go again. Well played by Hamilton. Into Lambert. Something here for the Tigers. Craig Lambert approaches 50. Fires out a hand pass. It wasn't too good for the forwards. Whistle's gone. Push in the back. Richmond free kick to James.
Richmond have made a change. Kieran going off and coming on. Philip Egan. And also Footscray are making changes. And Stephen Kullanuk coming on. Showed a lot of promise, Kullanuk, as a youngster, but just hasn't gone on. Maybe a lack of confidence. But that was bad luck on that occasion, I mean, for the Footscray guy, because there was not good play by Lambert, and they were lucky to get out of it with that free kick.
Now James, distance just over 40 metres. No score, out of bounds on the full, and the free kick to be taken by Cousins.
Cousins' short kick, really a poor effort, and the spoiling done by Goodwin. And appealing for a free kick, which was Tiggy Touchwood stuff. Goodwin running back. Foster just bumped him. Imran Khan, or the big fast bowler, was a Macram and Merv Hughes style. Just a slight dust-up.
That was probably worth a free kick anyway, that one.
Well, his Merv probably thought so. But the ball is with Goodwin. 40 metres from goal for the Tigers. Andy Goodwin. The kick just off the side of his boot. It's out of bounds on the full. I would have thought that was pretty close to a behind, but the goal umpire and the boundary umpire confer. The free kick taken by Steve Wallace. He doesn't mess around. Kicks it out wide to half-back. Mitchell can't control the ball. And Eccleston, I repeat myself, is doing a pretty good job to contain Michael Mitchell. Half-forward flank for the Tigers. They trail by 13 points.
Lee wins the tap. Goes to Mitchell. What a great hand pass to Waitman. A dodge and a weave. A centering kick rather than a shot for goal. And a defensive mark taken by Tatsaris. Oh, he's wanting to play on. He's in trouble. Back he goes. And eventually out of it through Hunter. Hawkins in front. Goes to ground. He's really contested every issue. Honeybun's hand pass intercepted by Cullen. But the ball forced over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in.
The tackling really becoming a feature of today's game, and these two sides really have improved on that aspect of their play. Some great tackles there.
Lambert gets out a 20-metre hand pass. Oh, clever by Waitman. Clever again. Brilliant play by Waitman. Sensational football. Almost tackled by his own man, Knights. Centering kick and a mark to Smith. Oh, what magnificent football by Waitman. Smith scored the Tigers' first goal.
Yep.
Chance now to get his second from just inside 50 metres. Margin 13 points at the moment. His kick's high and hasn't got the distance. Lee is there. Oh, Goodwin a good leap, but Foster out of defence.
Foster's kick out towards the half-back area. Punched on by Eccleston. Goes after it again, Greg Eccleston. Good gather, good tackle by Knights. Ball runs free, finishes up with James. Short kick. Has it gone far enough? Lambert has the ball, plays on quickly. Left foot shot by Lambert's a goal.
In 1899, Alexander Duckham started making this product. Since then, it's helped achieve the impossible. Altitude records, world land speed records, and that great engineering breakthrough, the East-West engine. Today, this extraordinary product is so good.
The oil, sir.
That Duckham's will actually double your car's engine warranty. Duckham's Oil. Double your engine warranty.
So Craig Lambert in the picture there. A quiet start, but boy, has he hopped into the game since about halfway through that first term. Lee gets the tap out, comes to McKellar, well tackled by Terry Wallace, but the free kick will go to McKellar. A high tackle by Steve Wallace. Hand pass goes wide to Smith. Smith goes long. A 50-metre kick up towards full forward. At the back, gathered by Egan. Egan goes for goal. It's off to the right and through for behind. 3-2 plays 3-8, and Egan already in the play. Harrington kicks it into half-back.
And the mark taken by Steve Wallace. Playing more of a defensive role in this game tonight. He's kicked to half-back flank, and Hawkins down from the wing takes the mark. Well, Doug Hawkins thought last October that he might be a Fitzroy Bulldog, but he's very proud to be skipper of Footscray. Kick by Kolonyuk up over the wing. And played by Ryan. And a bounce. And he lost it. Lambert might get it back to Ryan. Still with Lambert. That was a magnificent goal by Craig Lambert. Into Smith, who's been a top player. His kick inside half forward. Tatsaris backs himself and gathers well. Oh, the ball jolted free. He might lose it here. Wigney to help. Here's the scintillating Mitchell. Tried to beat the paddock. Loses it. Kolonyuk gets the hand pass wide. Now a chance for Footscray. Foster. But a poor kick by Peter Foster. And the mark is taken centre wing by Greg Hamilton. He's kicked to centre half forward. Wigney underneath the ball. Taken at the back by Eppelston. Back over the centre circle. Coleman. Not this time. Cullen roving the pack. Overruns it. He's tapped out well to Ryan. Look at the pressure. Well, you can tell that both of these teams are having a real dip.
Well, it's a good game, Drew, for such an early game. Even if it was mid-season, it's still a good game, and it's a compliment to players the way they're doing it.
Yeah, they're pretty desperate. McKellar has the ball for Richmond. Kicks it wide towards half forward. No mark taken. Spoiled by Eppelston. Opportunity for McGuinness. Hard up against the boundary line. Tony McGuinness kicks it in short. Gatherers by Smith. Hand pass long. Oh, puts Wakeman under enormous pressure. Over the top went Holt. Kolonyuk to tidy up. Kolonyuk's kick wide. Running onto it is Coleman. Can't gather the bouncing ball. Goes after it again. Strong play by Ryan across the half-back line for Richmond, and his short kick finishes up with Pym. Pym plays on quickly. Left foot kick by Pym. Close to the line. Mitchell tries to keep it in. He succeeds. The big crunch between Cousins and the Richmond player was Powell. The kick now for Footscray lands, fortunately, in the hands of Atkins.
Atkins on centre wing for the Bulldogs. 55-metre kick. Coleman. Good use of the body, but couldn't take the mark. Comes down to Hamilton. Off the ground, back up to Atkins. Puts the hand pass wide for Terry Wallace. Tries to dodge a player. Good tackle by Smith, who's nearly best on the ground. He's playing a top game. Ball out of play. A throw in just forward of the wing. Late in the second half, 6 points, second quarter, 6 points the difference, Footscray in front. Wallace gets the hand pass back to Foster. Foster measures off his pass, it's good. Hogg had it spent before he got it. Now Matthew Hogg up to half forward. Good punch away by Lees, but Campbell's after it. Great gather. On the turn, a left footer from 55 is well short. Good spoil back there by Hamilton. Well, that's good play by the youngster.
Now, there's an object lesson for youngsters. If you watched on that occasion, Lees and Campbell. Campbell in front, he had the ball punched away, but because he was in front, he was able to recover quicker than his opponent. They got the ball down.
That's why you were such a great coach. Up over the top goes Nixon and thumps it back over the boundary line. Now you've got a chance to say something there. Footscray interchange bench limbering up as it's close to the end of the first half here at VFL Park. Coleman, Honeybun, gets it down. Wallace intercepts, gets his foot to the ball, but the kick is ineffective. In the back pocket, Pym working hard. Thompson, hand pass over the top. Gee, that's risky stuff. Lees, out wide. Lambert, who's really controlled the centre, gets the ball out wide. Running onto it is Ryan. One bounce goes Des Ryan. He's got 15 metres clear. Kicks it in towards the centre, over the top of the head of Mitchell, but there's Lambert again. What a brilliant second term he's played. Lambert's kick towards half forward. The high flyers, Lee can't mark. Harrington there for Footscray, falls over at the critical stage, and Lee working overtime. McKellar, the hand pass to Smith again. Left foot chip by Smith. Oh, just a little bit too high. Struggling hard there, the Bulldog defenders. Hunter gets the hand pass out wide to Wigney, and Wigney will clear for Footscray. The left foot kick up towards centre wing. No, it slews off the side of his boot and just bounces in the field of play. Boundary throw in centre wing member side.
Boulder wide then. 7 minutes remaining. Clock stops, ball out of bounds. Countdown resumes. McGuinness, Terry Wallace, Atkins, Steve Wallace, Coleman, high to half forward. O'Keefe is there but out of position. First back onto it, Nixon, but he fumbles. Losing ground all the time. Oh, he's kicked an own goal. And in Australian football, just like in soccer, it counts as one.
Terry Wheeler there in the picture, looking a little concerned. Lees kicks the ball into the member's side. Out there looking for Honeybun, and Honeybun takes the mark on that half-back flank. David Honeybun has kicked one goal for Richmond. This kick is ill-directed, and the mark is taken by Coleman. Saw this guy doing some running around the streets of San Remo over the summer break with Bernard Toohey, one of his ex-teammates from the Sydney Swans. The kick goes up towards full forward, and concentrating on the ball was Campbell. Tried to burst his way through. The umpire's seen a free kick. Is it going to Campbell? It looks like it. And he's well within scoring distance. He's already kicked two behinds. And Lee's the disappointed Tiger defender.
You wouldn't want to be putting your house on this kick with Campbell, the way he's kicking tonight. He hasn't kicked too well for goal at all.
No,
then again, he is a good kick, and he could do it.
Campbell will kick from about just inside 50. The drop punt kick looks pretty good. Goal umpire doesn't move. It's a goal to Footscray.
At Carlton and United, we normally like to show you how to enjoy our products in our commercials. But we realize there are times when you'd rather enjoy someone else's. Like the pleasure of driving today's modern cars. All we ask is that you realize that drinking and driving can be a dangerous combination. Please think before you drink.
Campbell gets his first goal for the night. Back in the centre for the ball up, a 13-point lead to Footscray. McGuinness attempts one off the ground. Steve Wallace, who had to duck the tackle. Courage shown by Hogg, but it goes to Knights of Richmond. Now they're a chance. Nichols breaking away inside 50. Oh, great kick! Goal to Nichols.
There's a bit of a demonstration behind play on that occasion. The Footscray players, but it was to no avail because the goal stands. And Trent Nichols, who's come off the boundary line, number 22, reminds me of Barry Rawlings. And a great goal from this young fellow, and you've got to get the ball out of the centre, and Richmond did it very, very quickly on that occasion. Maybe Footscray could look at changing Charles off the bench and letting him have a run in the ruck.
So the margin back to 7 points after that quick reply by Nichols. McGuinness on the turn, putting it wide towards the outer side. Sprint on. O'Keefe and Nixon. And the ball out of play. Well, Footscray giving a good showing, and one person who'd be happy tonight would be Irene Chatfield, who was the person who took the league to court last year to get a stay in proceedings, and it was her motion to do that, which virtually saved Footscray, and she led the parade from the Western Oval tonight. There was a fleet of buses. They all had a sausage sizzle out there, and she led the parade out in her car, decked in red, white and blue. Irene Chatfield.
Great stuff, though. Terrific stuff there. And here are her favourite boys, Dougie Hawkins combining with Terry Wallace to put the Bulldogs up into attack, but the mark is taken by Pym at the back of the pack. The kick goes across the goal. The bounce favours Smith. Drew has already mentioned the value of that player, and what a beautiful kick by Smith to find Egan in the centre of VFL Park. Philip Egan looking to play on, now sends a bomb, 55 metres up towards centre-half forward. It's within goal-scoring distance for the Tigers. Harrington for Footscray there to clean up. Hand pass long to Hawkins. Hawkins kick out wide. Terry Wallace takes the mark, and Honeybun a little late on the scene. The hand pass goes wide to McGuinness. He runs away from the big ruckman, and onto the right foot, Tony McGuinness kicks Footscray into attack up towards half forward. Nixon does a bit of bumping, and the kick will go to Nixon. Well, I thought he did the bumping, but Nixon favoured by the umpiring decision. Kicks it out wide to Thompson. Thompson's got a bit of space on centre wing. The shepherding will be done and behind there by his teammate. Thompson's kick up towards half forward. Mitchell can't mark. The ball at the back. Harrington, unsung hero for Footscray across the half-back line, gets it over to Wigney. Wigney round on the right foot. The kick slews a little bit off the side of his boot towards centre half forward. A good punch away by Ryan. Another punch on by Hamilton. Ryan there to help out. Atkins hand pass. Goes wide. Hunter there for Footscray. Left foot kick is perfect, and O'Keefe takes the mark about 65 metres from goal. O'Keefe's kick centering in towards centre half forward. Knights doing pretty well for Richmond. Comes away with the ball. Kicks it wide towards centre wing. About 3 minutes left in the term. The hand pass from Honeybun goes to Nichols. Nichols into the forward pocket. Now the race is on. James, can he control it? Tatsaris from behind. James is still there. The ball underneath Stephen James. He can't get the ball out. Goodwin is there, and the Footscray defenders through Foster. James again close to the boundary line. Tatsaris is there for the Bulldogs, and eventually it's over for a boundary throw-in.
Gee, that ball is moving around pretty quickly. They've only played less than half a game. How will they go in the second half at this time of the season? Egan feeds out the hand pass to McKellar. Across the half-forward line, chance for Lambert. Got rid of his opponent, but Wigney runs onto it for Footscray. Goes for a bounce. Centres, which was good play. Up towards half-forward. Punch down comes to Collingham. Beaten to it by Pym. Pym gets the hand pass away. And now they're out of trouble through Smith again. High to half-forward. 2-1 Footscray. And the men at ground level. Good hand pass out to Wigney from Hunter. Half-back flank Steve Wallace. Up to Terry Wallace, who takes the mark. Feeds off the hand pass to McGuinness. Footscray on the run. Time running out, just on 2 minutes left in the first half. Coleman hooks it up towards the forward pocket. All Footscray, but will they reach it? The ball beats Campbell out of play.
There were Tony McGuinness was making position for that hand pass back then, didn't you think, Don?
Well, there is, but Coleman just wasn't in the position to give it on that occasion. Ian, I thought yes, and I thought his idea. Coleman, I really did think it went through his mind, but realised he just wasn't in that position, so he couldn't call it selfish play.
Okay, boundary throw in the Footscray forward pocket. Lee gets the hand pass out to Waitman. He goes back into defence. Hamilton, short kick in towards centre half back, marked by Ryan. Now Richmond are building something up. Smith, kick in towards the centre. Goodwin can't mark. There's another Tiger there. It's Nichols, and Nichols does pretty well to back up the big man. Nichols kick up towards half forward. Mitchell can't mark. Punch away by Eccleston, and Eccleston does pretty well and taps it over the boundary line for another throw-in.
They're both half-back flankers. Wigney on Egan and Eccleston on Mitchell. Now, they're both fast half-forwards, but those Footscray defenders doing exceptionally well.
Cousins, Goodwin. Cousins takes the front position, and crude effort there by Goodwin. Obvious free kick to the Footscray big man. Footscray missing young Scott Wind, who is their #1 ruckman, but Cousins doing pretty well. He's kicked this time, intercepted by Egan, and Egan takes it over for a boundary throw-in on centre wing.
And Goodwin going off, not playing particularly well at centre half forward, and it's McLeod coming on. So a big job and a hard job at centre half forward.
Maybe a disciplinary move there by Kevin Bartlett early in the season. The hand pass over the top now. Thompson
I should have said Stockdale, Ian. I'm sorry. Stockdale going to the centre half forward position. Well, he has played well there before. A good mark.
Young player, so Tigers trying a lot of their younger players in the first match.
Assumption College has been known to produce the odd footballer. Stockdale went there. Well, Lambert, too clever that time, and the hand pass out of play. Craig Lambert had a brilliant season last year, capped off with representing Victoria in that magnificent State of Origin game at the MCG. 56 seconds remaining to half-time. Knights to Mitchell. Mitchell goes back to Egan. Well, they've lost it. Terry Wallace, his hand pass astray. Mitchell to Knights, his kick astray. Hawkins in defence. To half-back, and Terry Wallace takes the mark. Half-back flank for the Bulldogs, who lead by 7 points. Well, that kick has gone straight to the opposition. Matthew Knights takes the mark. Running out of time for Richmond to get a goal. Up short of half-forward, and especially with that defensive mark by Peter Foster. 20 seconds left.
Hand pass goes to Hawkins. Hawkins kick wide. Hunter can't mark, but he fights on pretty well when the ball hits the ground, and he's rewarded with a free kick at the half-back, centre half-back position. Mark Hunter. Long kick out wide towards centre wing. No mark taken. Ryan at the back, helped out by Smith. Siren sounds, end of the first half in the first AFL match for season 1990. And Footscray lead Richmond by 7 points. The Bulldogs 4-9-33, Richmond 4-2-26.
So they'd led by 6 points at quarter time, so they won that quarter by just 1 point. Single goal scorers, Campbell, McGuinness, Terry Wallace and Coleman. And for Richmond, Lambert, Craig Smith, Trent Nichols and David Honeybun have been their goal scorers. Entertaining start for the season, but there's still a lot of pain left in this game, and you can see the pain etched on the face of Peter Foster as he leaves. At half-time, Footscray 4-9-33, Richmond 4-2-26.
Okay, the third quarter about to start in the Foster's Cup match, the first for the season, and the Bulldogs leading at half-time. Mark Lee gets the tap out, but Hawkins chips in pretty well for Footscray and puts the Bulldogs into attack up over that 40-50 metre line. Colin crashed as he went to ground, got the hand pass away. Terry Wallace, quick kick, only covers a matter of 16 or 17 metres. Mark taken by Wakeman. Wakeman kicks it wide. Smith has the ball on half-back flank for Richmond. The high kick by Craig Smith up towards centre wing. Egan can't mark. Eppleton is in there. He just sort of barrels the ball towards Hogg. Hogg's tackled well. The ball finishes up out wide now with Hunter. Hunter's kick across his body goes up towards the 50-metre line. At the back, Colin tries a little bit of tap-on stuff, which was a little fancy. The kick off the ground by the Richmond defence goes towards half-back. Hawkins, a little chip pass is great. And a mark taken by Terry Wallace, who has already kicked 1 goal, which was a tremendous kick from closer to the boundary line than this one, but Don, very similar in distance, wasn't it? Yes.
Will he make the distance?
Good question. Very professional footballer is Terry Wallace. This time, though, the ball, perhaps he didn't hold it well enough down to his foot, and it slews off the side of his boot in through for a behind. 1 goal 3 now to Terry Wallace in that Footscray scoreline of 4-10, and Lees kicks it into the back pocket. The mark is taken by Knights.
Knights from the back pocket up to half-back flank, and that kick straight out of bounds, and we'll have a throw-in. Well, can they keep up the pace of the first half? Pretty warm night. At 28 degrees it was today. Expected top 31 tomorrow. Carnival time on the outer side. Plenty of Footscray supporters. I reckon the crowd may be about 10,000. Hand pass comes out from Hawkins to Wallace. His kick slews off the side of the boot again. Out of bounds in the forward pocket. Boundary umpire being kept busy.
Just one thing, Don, there is, do you think it's an advantage for a player like Wallace there to go for a short pass into the pocket rather than popping it? The good sides pop it over the top to kick it to the front of the square.
But if you look quickly in, there was nobody. Campbell was out leading. He would have kicked it to an empty goal square, and players are attracted to movement, and players were moving. So he tried to direct the ball, just didn't come off.
Well, at Hawthorn you used to be able to do that and back it in that there'd be somebody there. Maybe that's the difference. Lambert near the centre of the ground, held when he didn't have it. Quickly gets up, takes the free kick. Good running by Thompson. He's got Mitchell going past, but he went for a kick. Mitchell's after this like a Commonwealth Games sprinter. Down goes James, and a great tackle from Foster. Thompson again. Backwards he goes with the hand pass. Put his teammate under a bit of pressure there, Hamilton. Hamilton, a kick inside 50. They set themselves, no mark. Eccleston's back there from the wing to hand pass to Hunter, and Footscray can clear towards the outer side. Mark Hunter. Got plenty of space here from Coleman. Glenn Coleman dashing up the ground with a bounce. He tries to get through two of them. He's caught by the second. Crowd yells ball, but not paid. Comes to Collinew. Approaches 50. McGuinness on the 50. A left footer from a long way out. Another magnificent kick, but just offline.
Well, there was some good play down on that outer wing by the Bulldogs. Young Collinew doing pretty well to get it onto McGuinness, and he nearly capped it off with a fantastic goal. Lees now kicked the ball back into play for Richmond. Goes pretty well straight up the ground. 1 on 2, but that one was Nixon for the Tigers, and he takes the mark at centre half back. Plays on quickly. Player out wide on his own as Lee. Plays on. Can he get past? Good effort by Cullen, but Lee gets the hand pass away to Knights. Knights has done very well for his side. The left foot kick by Knights is offline, but Foster's there, drops a sitter. Mitchell, cornered by Eccleston and Foster. At the back there, the Richmond player, Stockdale, couldn't break away. And the umpire will come in and bounce. Just outside 50 metres for the Tigers. And they really need a goal here to give them some sort of impetus at the start of this third term. Chance for Lambert close to the line. Boundary umpire decides that it's been bundled over. So we'll have a throw in about 55, maybe a little closer to 60 metres from the Richmond goal. And Stockdale there in the picture. The youngster for Richmond doing the ruck work. In front was Cousins. Ball comes down to the front. And fumbling it there was James. Couldn't control it. We'll have another boundary throw in.
Well, both sides haven't made too many changes. Frangalis is on for Richmond. Also Hamilton coming back on for his second run. But Footscray obviously very pleased with the way they went in the first half, because not too many changes, well, no changes at all on that side.
Stockdale gets a boot to it somehow. There he is again after it. Trying to paddle to Lambert, who applies the tackle, but it's in the back. And it'll be a Richmond Footscray free kick. To Cousins. Lambert not happy with that decision, having plenty to say. There's the hand pass from the free kick. Across to Collinew. And across the ground to find space, coming out of defence. Tsatsaris. Now he centres towards the centre circle. Well, Atkins was outnumbered about 3-1. Comes behind to Lee. His hand pass to Frangalis. Back to Mark Lee. Zigzag by Richmond. Oh, they're in trouble. They'll lose it here. Wallace blocks that hand pass beautifully. But it's tapped up the ground to Thompson again. He goes wide with his hand pass. Honeybun had to wait for it. Pops the kick very, very wide. Smith's there. Gains a few metres and finds the boundary line down towards the forward pocket.
Gee, they missed around a lot in that centre, didn't they? When you thought that they may have lost it. Well, maybe it's inexperience. The Tigers got a lot of young players with probably less than 20 games to their credit. Individually, Honeybun and Cousins. Gather by Hogg. Good play. Touches it on the ground, or did he? Now he gets his kick away. Over the wing. No one home. Mark Lee. Safe mark there by the big fellow. Kicks the Tigers back into attack. Oh, the high flyer was Egan. Couldn't hold it. Play by Hogg, but the free kick is given to Hogg over the shoulder.
I believe that's a free kick when they don't take the mark in.
Yes, fair comment. Matthew Hogg now. Little chip kick out wide. Foster takes the mark. Foster's got a player out wide. Kicks it to his advantage, perhaps a little too high. Tidying up was Pym. Off to Smith. Good player for Richmond is Craig Smith. Short kick. Intercepting well was Peter Foster, and he takes the mark for Footscray. The hand pass goes off to Eccleston. It just slips through his fingers, but he's able to recover and kicks the ball back in towards the centre. The high kick. Coleman can't mark. At the back, the Tigers have the numbers. Opportunity for Thompson. Tries to get it to Lambert. Lambert somehow gets through. Hand pass to Knights. What a great player he's been. Now Wakeman, the acting captain for this evening. Wakeman's high kick towards full forward, and it's punched through by Tatsaris for a rush behind to the Tigers. Dale Waitman, the scoreboard to Footscray's advantage by 8 points.
Tatsaris to kick in. Neither team, I can be honest, really has a great attack. Both relying pretty heavily on defence, trying to work on it for this year. Wigney a good mark. Out to Hawkins, who's been a prominent player and a classy player. Cullen backs himself, loses. Coleman backs him up. Kick by Coleman, blind on the turn up towards half forward. Nixon. Cullen keeps it in for Terry Wallace. Good hand pass. O'Keefe over the top. That was partly blocked, but it finds Cullen. In he goes to Atkins. Atkins, a real handballing specialist. Don't know whether it was required there. To Wallace. Kick and hope by Terry Wallace. Pim for Richmond. Mitchell back on the back line. He's got Mark Lee up the ground. Is it too high for him? Yes, it is. Met by Hogg at 100 miles an hour. Matthew Hogg, well played. Wide to Eccleston. He's a long way away from Mitchell, or Mitchell a long way from him. Eccleston centres. O'Keefe's there. Oh, he touched it away from Campbell. Well, both teams seem to muck it up when they get on the forward line. Here's Lees for Richmond.
Lees kick high, out towards centre wing, punched away by Steve Wallace. Eccleston and Mitchell. Mitchell swoops on it, tries to tap it to the advantage of Nichols. Nichols on hands and knees, and takes it over for a boundary throw-in.
Well, Footscray made it.
You're kidding, the umpires awarded a free kick against him.
Well, he had the opportunity to keep it in play, Ian, and he didn't bother.
He was on his hands and knees. Gee whiz, I can't believe that. Anyway, the ball now at centre half forward for Footscray. Terry Wallace struggling. Gets the hand pass out to Coleman. Coleman ducking and weaving. Now the hand pass high. Collingham, Campbell, Lambert, what a player he's been. On the 50-metre line, Craig Lambert can't break clear. Craig Smith gets it to Frangalis. Frangalis is hemmed in, but somehow he gets the kick away. Out wide towards half-back. Now here's Nichols. Can he make amends for that effort a few minutes ago? Back onto the left foot goes Nichols and spins his way out of trouble. Now the hand pass over the top to Lees. He gets the hand pass to Knights. Couple of neat little left footers in this Richmond side. Ryan at centre half back. Kicks a long high bomb out towards centre wing. Egan from behind Wigney. The shorter man takes a great mark. Egan gets the hand pass away. Here's a chance now for Smith. Smith goes direct towards full forward. No one home. Opportunity now. The Bulldogs struggling hard at full back as the free kick has been awarded there to Nigel Kellett. Kellett, one of the interchange players. The kick goes off the side of his boot. But Brunner, who's just come off the interchange bench, takes the mark for Footscray at half-back. He plays on quickly. Kicks it up towards centre wing. Overrunning it is Coleman. Coming in and reading it pretty well as Atkins. Atkins at half-forward for Footscray. The pass into the pocket. Goes through the two players there, Lees and Campbell. Campbell gets his foot to the ball, kicks it out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will be taken by Lees for the Tigers.
It's good positioning by Campbell on that occasion and good harassment on Lees to butter up. It's a terrific battle between those two players.
Well, we haven't had a goal in the third quarter as yet. It's real tight defensive stuff, but great endeavour by both teams. Lambert gets it back from Knights. Kick over centre wing. Wigney. Penetrating kick by Wigney in open spaces. Frangalis charges onto it, the ex-Swan. Long, straight up the centre of the ground. Inside half forward, the kick. Oh, it's in the back to Honeybun.
Fair enough.
He's right on the 50-metre line. Didn't even look. On the turn, he pops it to the goal square. James is there, all over his opponent. Free kick to Tatsaris. Well, once Honeybun had that free kick, he really didn't do much for the side, did he?
No, I thought that was a poor effort by Honeybun. Just kicking it high towards full forward with no real thought. Tatsaris in the back pocket to take the free kick for the Bulldogs. Kicks it out towards half-back. Honeybun's there again. Mitchell looking for the free kick, but does it pretty well on his own. Round onto that right foot. Kick towards full forward to the advantage of James. And a great mark, but it was a terrific pass by Mitchell.
My word, he showed a little bit of class there. He got away. He's been out of touch, which is understandable, but he showed his little bit of class then. We'll see that quickly on replay, and Footscray have made a change with Kellett coming on for his run. Into the half-forward line, and Cullen going off.
James from 35. Oh, bad kick by Stephen James. Misses to the left, and Richmond could have done with a goal there. Stephen James' personal tally is 2 behinds, and the Tigers trail by 7 points.
I know it's early stages, the game's not over, but you just sense that Footscray just a little bit more composed than Richmond are at this stage.
This quarter so far, both teams have kicked 2 behinds. McGuinness up to centre wing, too long for Wigney. Terry Wallace is at the back. He's got Wigney, Eccleston going past. Short pass off the left boot is good, and the mark is taken by Brunner. Puts it out in front of O'Keefe. Clever. O'Keefe now got to keep it in. Oh, he's met solidly, and that'll be a boundary throw in.
Again, a good contest between those two, Nixon and O'Keefe.
Well, everybody's talked about the Footscray fans who are going to get here tonight, but Richmond have got plenty themselves too. Coleman wins the tap. Nixon. There's Brunner. Did well. Pops it high towards the goal square. Campbell from behind, flies but can't mark. Thompson just keeps it in. Goes out to Ryan. Well, the ball's bouncing between the respective full forward lines, and nobody can score goals in this quarter. Egan pops it over the top. Teammate had to wait for it. Smith been outstanding. Great pass. His disposal has been good as well. Pym inside half forward. Punch from behind Tatsaris. Here goes Mitchell. Skirts around them. Off the left boot. Michael Mitchell won't make the distance. Honeybun keeps front position. Hand pass a bit blind. Cousins on all fours. Eccleston back there. And he gets the hand pass away to Wigney.
Wigney, and they've combined pretty well, those two Footscray defenders, Eccleston and Wigney, there to get the Bulldogs out of trouble. Wigney's kick, well, it was effective, I guess, that he was under a little bit of pressure and he's found touch. Half back flank, half forward flank for Richmond. Bulldogs 7 points in front. Boundary throw in with Cousins and Stockdale. Stockdale at the back. Cousins does it pretty well to take front position. Knight's trying to get away. Stephen Wallace's kick is smothered. Opportunity for Egan, hard up against the boundary line. Tries to keep the ball into play, but he wasn't going to get away anyway because Tony McGuinness was standing between him and the goals. Still, we'll have a boundary throw in, half forward flank for Richmond. Stockdale now this time gets his left hand to the ball, and Knights is interfered with. Will he receive the free kick? Yes, Matthew Knights. Left foot kick in towards centre half forward. Looking for the leading player up there in James. James onto the right foot. Snapshot for goal. Might bounce through. It does. Great goal, Bomber James.
Hi, how you going? Oh, Lords, yeah. Looks like another good score on the way. Oh, yeah. Unless it rains over there. Oh, well, it looks pretty dry at the moment. Like you, eh? Yeah. Can I buy you a drink?
Foster's Lager, it's got the flavour.
Hey, remember that Aussie just opened and was always getting mixed up in the runs? Mr. Wood. That's right. Wood. Yeah. Graham Wood.
Stephen James.
So the goal by Stephen James makes it a point the difference. Footscray in front. Lee beats Cousins. McGuinness, no distance with his kick. Young man, Kellett, played a handful of games last year in the seniors. McGuinness's kick to full forward. Campbell almost sticky fingers. Nixon sees it out. Yes, Kellett played 3 games last year. And Campbell has had a fair bit of the ball tonight at full forward, but has disappointed, kicking 1 goal 2 and 1 out of bounds. Coleman wins a good tap. Lambert has it taken off him by Kellett. Comes to Terry Wallace. Snap kick, edge of the goal square, but Campbell slipped, allowing the defender Lees in. Frangalis backs Lees up, finds Ryan. And Richmond switch play towards the outer side. Centre wing duel between Eccleston and Mitchell. Eccleston's done pretty well. Mitchell just lacking a bit of touch this early after missing so much of last year. Eccleston into Atkins. Atkins short pass. Any one of them could have taken it. Adrian Campbell's got it. At 2.5 kicks to goal from there. Frangalis and McGuinness. Pym. And the ball goes out for a throw-in.
Don, there really wasn't enough urgency in Campbell's play there, was there?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Ian, because he could have moved the ball down there. They only had small men on the full forward line, Footscray. When you've got that, you've just got to get it down quickly. I agree wholeheartedly.
Waitman gets the ball out to Lambert, and the Tigers are on the run. Lambert's kicking towards the centre. and puts that player under pressure. I think it was Stockdale. Foster coming down from centre half back, kicks the Bulldogs into attack. It's a raffle, but Terry Wallace finishes up with it, and he's inside 50. He's pet distance.
And there's not one Footscray player. There is somebody on the full forward line now, but Richmond really do that well, blocking up that full back line for themselves team.
Wallace's kick just falls short, and that's his only downfall over a, well, what would be considered an illustrious career. Terry Wallace, great ball gatherer, but just his kicking lets him down that little bit. Lees kicks it in towards the back pocket. Mark taken by Smith. Play-on says the umpire. Smith fiddling with it underneath. Lees tries to tap it on. Now play-on says the umpire. As the advantage is paid to the Tigers, Ryan finishes up with it. Ryan's kick up towards centre wing, really not to the advantage of his team. Was two big Footscray defenders there, and infringing against Wigney was Stockdale, and Wigney will take the free kick for Footscray.
Goes very wide, out of bounds on the full. Far too wide for a kick which wasn't a full distance kick. The free quickly taken by Hamilton. Terry Wallace goes back. Hogg. Wigney. Oh, that was a good tackle by Lambert. Egan. Look at the endeavour by players here.
He was a bit overconfident on that occasion, Wigney Drew. He really did sum up the situation. He thought, no, I can take this guy on. Just a little bit too much confidence in his own ability. It just did not come off, as Footscray about to make a change with Williams to come on. We'll just wait to see who he is replacing.
There's Brunner, new player. Crowd yelled holding the ball. Wasn't paid that way, and it's run out of bounds.
It looks like O'Keefe, who has had a quiet night. Richard Nixon's done a good job on him in the back pocket, and he is being replaced by Mark Williams.
Ruck contest. Lee gets his fist to the ball, goes out towards Steve Wallace. Thompson interferes with him, and the umpire sees it that way. The free kick will go to Steve Wallace. Been a good player for Footscray over the last, 6 or 7 years of Steve Wallace. He gets the kick out wide to Hawkins. Hawkins looking to do something with the ball, as he always does. Hand pass goes towards Kellett, back to Hawkins. Hawkins goes for goal, and that is class.
Do you believe Diane?
Somebody just shot my kids.
Do you believe her story? How could anyone have aimed a pistol at 3 little children?
Get some help!
And pulled the trigger 5 times?
You don't believe me, do you?
Mother or murderer, she had a gun.
I didn't do it.
Over 2 nights in February, a mystery unfolds.
Karen saw the killer.
Farrah Fawcett with Ryan O'Neal and Emmy winner John Shea. Who shot you? Small sacrifices, a true story, soon on 7.
Superb play by Doug Hawkins, and the lead out to 8 points in favour of Footscray. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Dispossessed is Kellett, comes to Steve Wallace, back to Hawkins. Captain Magnificent up to Terry Wallace. Hardly wasted a possession tonight, Doug Hawkins. Out wide to Brunner, on the bounce, Campbell, good gather. He's caught by Lees, puts it down on the tackle. Play on, says the umpire. Chance for Campbell again. He paddles back to Terry Wallace. He's pretty tough in these situations. Atkins, a good hand pass back. Steve Wallace puts it wide. Comes out to Kellett. Kellett over the top with the hand pass. For Hawkins, he leaves it. Pot shot for goal by Hogg. The whistle's gone.
I don't like this rule. I really don't like this new rule. This is shepherding 3 metres away. I don't like that rule at all. For years it's been 5 metres. He put his hands out to shepherd. This is a wrong rule. They brought it in for those charging, but that was a legitimate shepherd.
He loves his team, Dougie Hawkins, doesn't he? Still remonstrating with the umpire. Play goes on. In towards the centre. Hoggs bumped off the ball. Lambert trying hard for the Tigers. Just fumbles. Good tackle by Eccleston. It was fair, and it was terrific stuff. The ball finishes with Smith. Smith's left foot kick up towards the half-forward area. Mark taken by Egan. He plays on. Open spaces for the Tigers. Knights will go within 50. Can he get his foot to the ball? Yes, the kick is across the face of goal. No mark taken. What was Mitchell flying high for? Interfering with James. Nichols looking for a free kick, and the boundary umpire will throw it in.
I think Mitchell was trying to break the world high jump and long jump record in the one leap.
Well, I'm sure James would be upset with that. Cousins over the top. Brunner gets his foot to the ball. He's adjusting pretty well, is John Brunner from Yarrawonga. The mark has been taken outside 50 metres by Stockdale, and My knowledge of his kicking ability would be nil, but Stockdale kicks the ball long to the goal square. Honeybun comes out in front, can't mark. Punched away by Hunter. Kellett swoops on the ball and does it pretty well too, Nigel Kellett. Left foot kick by that player, goes back in towards the centre. There's no one home for Footscray, and Mark Lee takes a safe chest mark. Too far out to score as Mark Lee. Forward line pretty crowded, so he thumps it high into the forward pocket area. Honeybun, good punch away there by the Footscray defence. Lambert's a chance, he swoops on the ball, tries to get onto the left foot. Now he does, but a good tackle by McGuinness, who swooped on him unknown to Craig Lambert. Now a free kick picked out of it, and it looks as though it's going to maybe McGuinness on the bottom of the pack, and it's against Craig Lambert. Tony McGuinness, the little short chip, goes out wide to Foster. Foster looking to play on, but there was a player there on the mark, was Pym. Foster's kick now towards centre wing. Good punch away by Ryan over the top of Coleman. So we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing out of side.
Footscray leading by 8 points. Under 2.5 minutes remaining to three-quarter time. Lee taps down. Smith, good hand pass away to Trent Nichols. Kicked by Nichols inside half forward. Neither team seem to be able to get the ball on the forward line. Mitchell some chance here. He goes head on with the tackle, but Harrington bounced off him. Harrington again. Gets the hand pass up the ground, and Footscray out of trouble.
Well done, Harrington.
Hand pass over the top to Kellett, who's been prominent since he came on. Caught by Thompson from behind, didn't see him coming. Williams, Kellett. Here's a chance. Hunter, 60 metres from goal on the boundary line. He drives it long to the goal square, not a soul there. And dropping back in defence is Pym.
Pym now transfers play to the outer side. Richmond could take it all the way up here. Lee's short pass finds Lambert. He's got a loose player in the centre, but he elects to go wide towards half forward. Egan in front of Wigney. Can Egan gather the bouncing ball? Wigney, bigger, stronger, and more desperate. Wigney sees it over the boundary line. Bit of an underrated player, I think, that Shane Wigney. Perhaps lacks a little bit of class, but he's a very, very honest trier. Stuart Wigney, rather. Mark Lee doing the ruck work against Cousins. The ball comes to the ground. Knights can't break away from the Atkins tackle. McGuinness on the bottom of it. Mitchell crude. Umpire sees a free kick, should be rewarded by McGuinness's efforts, so he'll take it at half back for Footscray. Tony McGuinness, fairly composed. Left foot kick goes over 50 metres up towards half forward. The ball at the back. Coleman the first to recover. Ryan's there. Coleman's good play. Taps it onto the advantage of Wallace. Pym in there for Richmond. Ball comes out the back. The hand pass comes to Coleman. Tries to get it out to Williams. Williams just on the ground. Gets the hand pass out now. Here's an opportunity for Hogg. Hogg goes for goal and puts it through. No, hits the post. Goal! Right the first time.
Well, Matthew Hogg lucky with that goal then, because it was Campbell in the goal square by himself, and he could have got a quick handball away, as we see 48 playing 34, Footscray's favour. But nonetheless, the goal stands, and Footscray take the reward. And Hogg playing well, started off very well in the back line, now playing down in the forward line.
Goal scoring unusual for Matthew Hogg. 21 league games for just 2 goals. Under 30 seconds left. Here's Hogg. Hand pass to McGuinness. Might be time for another goal for Footscray if they can move it further forward. But a good punch down by Richmond. Ball jolted out of Smith's hands by Brunner. Pym. Atkins. Quickly off to Cousins. Long kick. Time running out. They're within goal scoring distance. Now they're not. Oh, that's beautifully played there by Greg Hamilton. Across the ground he goes. Pym. Wider to Ryan. And there's the siren for three-quarter time here at VFL Park. A low-scoring quarter. And at three-quarter time, Footscray 6 goals, 12-48. Richmond 5-4-34. Low-scoring third quarter. Footscray added 2 goals, 3 to Richmond's 1 goal, 2. And the Breakers 14 points at the last change. A reminder that tonight's match is also being played for the .05 Challenge Cup. both teams being sponsored by the Transport Accident Commission. Some highlights coming up on the Australian Television Network. On Sunday, February the 25th, the thrills and chills of motor racing with the Shell Ultra Touring Car Championship live from Amaroo Park. They're all there: Brock, Johnson, Seaton, Richards, Longhurst. Find out who's going to be the best as they take their lives into their own hands, only on 7. On Sunday, March the 4th, the season of speed continues with the mind-numbing action of NASCAR, live from the Calder Park Thunderdome. The world's finest drivers in their Pontiacs, Chevrolets, Ford Thunderbirds and Buicks against the tough Australians and their machines. Coming soon to 7 Sport. And on Sunday, March the 11th, the Giants of Sport are back with the Kmart Aussie Basketball Classic. The country's top teams battle it out in their home state to earn the right to play in the grand final in Sydney later in the month. Basketball fever starts all over again, only on 7. Down on the boundary line, here's Michael Roberts and Peter McKenna.
In the Tiger camp, Kevin Bartlett's still pretty confident with his troops. He wants the players to create space, especially on this big ground, and those players tagging must tighten up, especially across the centre line. Unfortunate news for Alan McKellar. He was tagging Doug Hawkins for most of the match, and he's done a groin, and a bad groin it is. And if you think the players are finding it hard, the boundary umpire had to be replaced that quarter because he was vomiting. Peter, what about Footscray?
Very impressive by Terry Wheeler. Just completely words of encouragement the whole time. He asked all the players to support each other, run hard, tackle hard, harass for the rest of the game and kick long to the forward line.
We've just had the attendance figures here tonight. Well, I underestimated it by a long way. 16,968, nearly 17,000 for the opening football match of the season. That's a great figure.
That's a terrific crowd, Drew, and
I
suppose
ever come into better conditions, Ian. Sorry to
no,
cut across
well, perfect,
you, but in autumn is balmy nights. They're fantastic for football.
Last quarter about to start here between Footscray and Richmond, and going into the last term, the Bulldogs have the advantage. Lee gets the left hand of the ball. It's sharked by McGuinness. McGuinness's left foot kick up towards half forward. Punch away, goes out wide towards centre wing. Overrunning it was Eccleston. At the back was Hogg, who kicked a magnificent goal at the end of the 3rd term, and he's battling on, but he can't do much with the football. And it's Tim Powell there for Richmond. Matthew Knight's in the foreground. And the fans pretty excited about this first match. And there's a lot at stake for Richmond and Footscray, both looking for improvement on the ladder this season. So a first up showing is very important. Hogg takes the mark at half back for Footscray. He gets the hand pass off to Foster. Foster's kick towards centre half forward. Anyone home there for Footscray. Coleman nearly takes a one grabber. Fights on well, gathers the ball, kicks it up towards full forward. Campbell out in front, gets his hands on the ball, nearly dispossessed by Lees. Campbell doing pretty well at ground level, gets it out towards Wallace. Wallace taps it on to the advantage of Kellett. Over the top was Hamilton, unfairly, says the umpire, and the free kick to be taken by Nigel Kellett.
He's done well since coming on. 2 hand passes. That hand pass to Doug Hawkins was classical for Hawkins' goal in the 3rd quarter.
Man on the mark about 51 metres from goal, so really test him for distance. He doesn't go for it. Short passes to Brunner. He's easily spoiled by Pym. Pym off the left boot. Diving mark. Attempted mark. Oh, well, that's clever. He came up with the ball almost, Hunter. And goes in for a 3rd dip at it. The umpire says, it's my ball. Give it to me. I'll ball it up.
Might be an indication of the way the game is going. 3 Footscray players at the fall of that ball, 1 Richmond.
Yes, Richmond hit the lead by a point for a brief moment in the 1st quarter, but Footscray have led at every change. The margin is 14 points. There's Steve Wallace. And 14 points can, of course, be made up in 1 quarter of football, but a 3-goal swing, you'd have to wonder about Richmond because they've managed just 5 goals for the night.
Richard Cousins there in the picture with Mark Lee. They've done the ruck work for their respective sides for most of the night. Chance there for Hamilton. Oh, dispossessed by Atkins. Gets the ball away, overrunning it. Richmond now very, very desperate. Frangalis, Smith in there. The hand pass goes over the top. Here's an opportunity for Williams. He's crashed to the ground by Hamilton. And the free kick will be taken by the Footscray player, Mark Williams, ex-Carlton. And a fairly handy pickup there for Footscray. Utility player. Kicks it up towards full forward. Brunner runs onto it. Gets the hand pass over to Eccleston. How many goals has he kicked? Here's an opportunity. It's punched away by Lambert into the pocket. Lambert tries to see the ball safely over the line, and he does so in the back pocket for Richmond, only a matter of 15 or 20 metres around from the Footscray goal.
Eccleston, 1 goal in 59 matches.
Fair enough. He got a bit excited there and kicked it in short. The ball kicked out by Frangalis. Steve Wallace is underneath it. Can't mark, but he goes after it again. Gets it off to Eccleston. Eccleston's kick a little too high. He thought he looked for Terry Wallace, but it floated over that player's head. Mark taken by Knights. Knights in the centre half-back position. Chips it out wide. Now Pym getting back onto the right foot. Again a short kick. It finishes up there with Hamilton. Hamilton at half-back. Kicks it wide. Looking out there for Stockdale. He can't mark it. Goes over the top to Hunter. Hunter's kick across his body. Out wide. No mark taken. Running onto it now was James, but it's kicked off the ground by Hogg. What a desperado he is, Matthew Hogg. Now the ball finishes up with Frangalis. Somehow gets onto the left foot, kicks it out wide to Nichols. Nichols has sweeping hand pass up towards Waitman. Waitman waits for it to bounce, gets around onto the right foot. Dale Waitman looking for the short pass, it's on. Egan punched away by Tatsaris. Footscray defence under pressure. Tatsaris, desperado. Lambert at the back. Can he get the hand pass out? Yes, it comes out towards Waitman. Well tackled, but he shrugs the Wallace tackle. Off to Egan, 20 metres out. Philip Egan goes bang and misses to the right.
Desperate play on that occasion by Tatsaris at centre-half back. He had to go for the ball, and he really did risk his body. It was great play. He was outnumbered.
Pretty hard to get a free kick for a good tackle. Tim Harrington, he's done the rounds. Collingwood, North Melbourne, Brunswick and the VFA. Long kick towards the outer side, 60 metres. Mark Lee almost. Had a good third quarter, Mark Lee. Oh, here's a mighty kick out of the pack for a goal by Stephen James.
At Carlton and United, we normally like to show you how to enjoy our products in our commercials. But we realise there are times when you'd rather enjoy someone else's. Like the pleasure of driving today's modern cars. All we ask is that you realise that drinking and driving can be a dangerous combination. Please think before you drink.
Stephen James, well, he's had his 30 seconds of glory here at VFL Park. The Tigers trail by 7 points. Lee gets the tap out, but it bounces back into the hands of Terry Wallace. Kick up towards half forward. Mark Williams can't mark. Here's Kellett for Footscray. Kick across his body up towards full forward. Lee's running towards it. Campbell off the ground. He'll kick a goal. Yes! Quick reply by the Bulldog full forward. He kicks his second, and Footscray bounce back. They lead by 13 points.
I've been impressed with the way that Campbell uses his body. Earlier in the earlier in this quarter, the fourth quarter, he used his body well to get Lee's out of position. He ran onto that very, very nicely. I'm impressed with him at centre, at the full forward position. Good battle between the two players. But if he's not winning the ball, he's certainly putting his body in, and there's not too many full forwards that go after the ball as he is tonight.
2 goals, 1 apiece, inside a minute there. Lee wins the tap, comes down to Steve Wallace, who gets the kick out of the centre. Frangalis, number 9. Overrun by Kellett, comes to Frangalis. Pokes the kick up towards centre wing, and a diving mark by the goal kicker, James. Wide to Lambert. Lambert's kick for Mark Lee, and takes the mark. Oh, what a shocker. Kicked it straight across the ground. Mitchell up. Knights off to Mitchell. Mitchell dodges and weaves, approaches 40 metres, kicks for goal, but he was off balance when he let it go, out of bounds on the foot.
He did pretty well to get himself clear there. Mitchell, Harrington kicks it in for Footscray, close to the line. Is the ball going to stay in? Well, that bounce was freakish. Finishes with Mitchell, slick hand pass, Knights. Knights' short pass is good. Waitman into goal. Waitman misses to the right. A shocking kick by the acting captain. And he stands there very disappointed with his hands on his hips, the runner having a bit of a chat to Dale Waitman.
I think he should have steadied, Ian. He was well within kicking distance.
Well, try to steer it, Don, I suppose. If you thump it, you've got some chance. Harrington's kick out towards half-back. Here's an opportunity for Smith. Inside 50 metres. Smith goes bang and puts it through.
Tom Selleck, Steve Gutenberg, Ted Danson. 3 incredibly eligible men hoping to meet the perfect woman.
That's a baby.
It's a baby.
Of course it's a baby.
I want to see the way you 3 big guys handle this one.
The smash hit comedy of the decade.
Will somebody please tell me what the hell is going on around here? Figure it out for yourself.
On television for the first time.
You do realize she did a doodle.
Doodle, yes! Doodle!
Toyota presents
Good night, sweetheart.
3 Men and a Baby. Sunday night on 7.
Ball up in the centre. Well, a while ago, James became the first double goal scorer. And in the space of a couple of minutes, Campbell and Smith have joined him. Richmond still in this with a big chance after trailing virtually all night. James loses control here, goes in for a second go. Off the ground. Foster's there. Nichols kept it going for Richmond. Wigney. The pressure still right on as it was right from the start. Lambert running out of room. What a hand pass. Off to Nichols. Not too good off the left hand, and it went out of bounds.
He probably should have kicked it because the player he was trying to give the hand pass to was well covered.
Bit of excitement in the crowd on the far side. It was a bit of a dust-up which distracted a lot of the patrons out there. Ball flipped out by Hawkins. All Richmond here. Oh, he took a long time, Knights, and the ball's gone out of play. Boundary throw in. Tigers half-forward flank. They trail by 7 points midway through the final term.
Lee in front, Cousins from behind. Knights gets a tap over. Oh, dashing through is Powell. Onto the right foot. No, he hand passes. Mitchell ducking underneath everybody. Goes with the right foot. The long kick into the pocket. Honeybun can't mark. Harrington taps it over the line. And the safety of the boundary line sought after desperately there by the Bulldog defender. It's about 35 metres around from the Richmond goal. And a goal here will make it just 1 point the difference. Honeybun down to Lambert. Lambert shoots for goal. Egan! That's a definite mark. And Egan will put the Tigers within a point with less than 13 minutes left in this match.
Well, from this distance, he really shouldn't make it. A great mark from over the back by Philip Egan. Right on the line, only accuracy the problem.
Egan goals.
At Goldmark Jewellers, it's Valentine's Day. Just listen to your heart, then look at the prices. Goldmark's huge range of chains and bracelets will make any heart shine when they're all half price. Buy a silver or gold chain or bracelet and receive a heart free. Only while stocks last, only at Goldmark, Australia's largest chain of specialist jewellers.
(54-53). Footscray just in front. Lee wins in the middle. Out of defence by Hunter. Bouncing ball. Pym. Lambert has time to fumble and give the hand pass wide. Knights. Oh, great play into Smith. Smith steers it up to Honeybun. Not this time. And the ball taken out of play by Tsatsaris.
And Coleman off the ground. Now, he was a focal point up forward. He may have drifted out in the third quarter. Charles has come on. A big job for Charles. And just pick up where he's going into the ruck. So that's good.
Young Charles played 1 game last year. He's got plenty of height. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. But he's been given, what, about 12 minutes in a game which is up for grabs.
And Cousins centre half forward, but they've got big raps on Charles.
On Richmond's forward line. They're trailing by a point. Powell. Lambert ran out of room but stayed in, but the kick was disappointing. That's about where McGuinness kicked a magnificent goal earlier on, but Lambert couldn't do the same.
If he'd have popped that one through, I think Don Scott would have even jumped through the roof. Steve Wallace in the back pocket for Footscray. Bulldogs now under pressure. Wallace's kick's not a bad one. Outside 50 metres, out towards half-back. The punch away by the Richmond players. Stockdale can't break away. Knights somehow gets it out to the advantage of Smith. Smith on the left foot. A little chip in towards centre-half forward. A big punch by Tatsaris. Great play. Eccleston down there for Footscray. Atkins gets it out to McGuinness. McGuinness finds space. One bounce by Tony McGuinness up towards centre wing. He's caught, but he gets his kick away to the advantage of Williams. Williams out there in front of Nixon, and Williams gets past the big lumbering Richmond defender. Williams' kick up towards centre-half forward. Who's home for Footscray? Kellett bumps his opposition player away from the ball. Frangala slips over. Can he get the ball away? Yes, he does. Out the back to Lees. Lees shrugs the tackle. Gets the ball out towards Hamilton. Hamilton's left foot kick towards centre wing. No one home for the Tigers. Hunter marks and plays on. Kicks it in short. Opportunity now for Brunner. Can he cover himself in glory? The kick off the side of his boot. And the ex-Yarrawonga star kicks it out of bounds on the full free kick to Richmond.
That was not good play by Brunner. Campbell was on a lead. He could have passed it around. He did really sum up the situation. Made the wrong choice by going long.
Cramp in the background there to Greg Hamilton. Meanwhile, Richmond move it forward up towards centre wing. All Footscray here, and Steve Wallace drops an easy mark. Just gets the hand pass away to Hunter, who's been prominent in the last few minutes. His hand pass further afield. Kellett. Campbell, what a climb!
He's done well, Drew. If he's not winning the ball, he's really making it hard. He's putting them under a lot of duress, those Richmond backmen. He's worked particularly well.
Well, Adrian Campbell has been disappointing with his kicking for goal. He's kicked 2 for the night, and if he can make it a hat-trick, he'll be the leading goal scorer for the night and will give Footscray a bit of breathing space. They lead at the moment by a point. Kick from 49 metres. Won't make it. Almost to Cousins. Taken off the hands by Frangalis. Now Richmond have a chance to rebound. Mitchell, good mark at half-back flank.
Michael Thompson warming up for Richmond on the boundary line.
He hasn't played the mark.
He's asked for the boundary. That was a mark.
I would have thought so too. Well, a couple of unusual decisions. Knight's on the bottom of the pack there for Richmond.
That might be the
that could be the square up. Yes, Don, I think you've read it pretty well there. Matthew Knight's at half-back to take the free kick for Richmond. Kicks the ball in towards the centre. High flyers. Atkins,
good handball.
Beautiful slick hands out to Hunter. Hunter's short pass is effective. Mark to Kellett. Kellett now onto the left, now onto the right. He'll get caught. No, he won't. He gets his kick away. Up towards full forward. Will it bounce through? No, just to the wrong side of the goal post and through from behind. Footscray lead by 2 points.
Well, Simon Atkins fed out a brilliant hand pass. His hand passing was a feature of his game last year, and actually, come Brownlow time, there were a few quiet tips for him. Didn't do any
should
good.
handball. Maybe he should get his kick a little bit more. You know, he does handball a lot when he can get a kick, but that was a brilliant handball.
Lees looks out there for Pym, and maybe the umpire deciding there that one of the Footscray players ran straight at Chris Pym, and I would suggest the free kick more so than the mark. The kick goes wide toward close to the boundary line. Now it goes over, and Powell a little frustrated further field from where the kick came, and the crowd looking pretty keen there. It's been a terrific contest from the start right up to this stage where we've got 9 minutes left. Footscray lead by 2 points. The kick further afield goes up towards the Richmond half forward area. Waitman taps it over the top. It's still close to the line. Wallace gets the hand pass away. Hoggs well tackled. And what's happened here? There's a bit
behind
of a
play. It was against Waitman.
Waitman behind play, yes. And the free kick will go to the Footscray player. It suggested it'd probably be Steve Wallace. He's out of picture at the moment. There he is now. And Wallace will take the free kick for Footscray. The short pass, and it's taken by Hawkins, who's been out of the play a fair bit. Wasn't cited much in the third term, but Dougie Hawkins, the captain. Short kick. Wallace takes the mark, and Terry Wallace would be on centre wing on the outer side. So Footscray now will go into their attacking half. This kick by Wallace dropping in short, and reading it pretty well was Cousins. Coming down from centre half forward, takes the mark on his chest. He's still 2 kicks from goal, Richard Cousins. He transfers play to the centre half forward position. High flyers wanted, but it's unopposed mark to Adrian Campbell, and he'll kick from about 45, maybe a little closer, maybe 42 metres from goal. So let's see what the young man from Traralgon can do with this one. Adrian Campbell. Got Teddy Whitten's number on his back. Magnificent drop punt kick. The Footscray boys in the goal square like it. It's a goal.
This is Loch Ness. There's a local legend that the Loch Ness Monster will surface for a glass of Bell's Scotch. They say she'll come up for Bell, been blended with their finest single malt whiskies for 150 years. She takes it with too much water anyway.
So the margin out to 8 points in favour of Footscray, but certainly not all over yet. 7 3/4 minutes remaining. Lambert stumbling, getting the hand pass away. Smith helping it afield. Waitman's there, met by Foster. Charging up the ground, Peter Foster. Off to Terry Wallace. Puts the kick wide. Charging at this one is Williams. The hand pass slid in. Brunner keeps it low. Lee's in front this time. Brunner follows up. Down he goes, the 25-year-old recruit. Ball goes out of play. The umpire calls for the throw-in.
Isn't it an inspirational play in a tight situation that the game is in now to see a Peter Foster, or it was Peter Foster at centre-half back attacking the ball? It really does lift the opposition. You can see there, obviously, Coleman very badly injured, got the ice on the shoulder, so consequently that's why he had to go off.
Cousins, a second bite at it. Terry Wallace. Tapped out by Frangalis. Atkins, this time the hand pass is on the bounce. Steve Wallace, left footer. Space here. Mark on the forward line to Williams. And a goal by Mark Williams, you would think might nearly wrap it up. 8 points is the margin now. Had to stand his ground with Des Ryan bearing down. And the man on the mark is about 25 to 30 metres from goal. Ex-Carlton player, Mark Williams, right through the middle. Well, that is a bit of a break now. 9-13 to 8 goals 5. It's 22 scoring shots to 13. The margin 14 points as it was at three-quarter time.
Well, he's a very handy player. I suppose that's the best way that you can describe Mark Williams. I don't think I've seen him play a bad game when he's been there, not a starring game, but he's always handy, and he was in the right place at the right time that occasion, and a good goal at a critical moment of the game. And he has contributed since he has come on.
It's a good kick there by Mark Williams. The ball bounced back in the centre. A tap out there by Charles, but Richmond go into attack up towards half forward. The bouncing ball tapped further afield by Smith. He overruns it, now goes back after it again. Held there by Wigney, but Smith has the ball underneath him. Umpire decides that there should be a bounce to take place.
Justin Charles has got the last two hit-outs in the centre bounce. He should have been on earlier against Mark Lee.
The bounce favours Lambert. Can he break clear? Does pretty well, Craig Lambert. Gets the ball back to Powell. Powell looking to handball, gives it to Mitchell. He's under pressure. Back to Powell. Now Powell's got some space. The kick over the top of the left shoulder, back in towards centre-half forward, but it's Charles doing pretty well. Gets the kick out towards centre wing. It bounces underneath Thompson to the advantage of Kellett. He's scragged, but the advantage will be paid. Williams has the ball at centre-half forward. He'll go into goal. Mark Williams, he could kick his second. No. Hooks the ball right across the face. And it's out of bounds about 15 to 20 metres around from the Footscray goal. And Mark Williams would be a little disappointed with that as he shakes his head.
Karen about to come on, and Tim Powell going off for Richmond, so they're pulling changes, trying to get back into this game, the Richmond side.
Lee works his way in front of Cousins, comes to Frangalis, out of the back pocket, up towards half-back flank. Ball takes a break, bounces away from Lambert. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the match.
Been a great last quarter. Richmond clawing themselves back within a point. Now Footscray is starting to go away with the game.
And they've kept up the pace that they started with, which I feel surprising at this time of the year.
This is a good kick.
Stephen Wallace out in front of Campbell. And Campbell streamed down the ground from the goal square to the 50-metre line. And now Adrian Campbell, if he gets onto his best kick, can kick number 4.
And Waitman in trouble behind play for Richmond. Lots of trouble, Dale Waitman. Looks as though he may have done a hamstring.
Campbell from 53 metres. Not quite an offline for a behind.
5 metres, thanks, Footscray.
Well, Kevin Bartlett certainly wouldn't want to lose Dale Waitman for a long time, although if they lose tonight, they mightn't have another game for quite a while. And of course, the season doesn't start the season proper until the end of March. They might have time to get over something. Down goes Hunter, and will take a free kick. Advantage played. Terry Wallace there, comes off hands to Steve Wallace. Back to Terry, lines up the goals from 35 metres and sprays it badly for a behind.
Gee, that was good use of the body then by Terry Wallace. He's only a small fellow, but the way he stopped at the critical moment, then went forward for the ball. That was experience plus.
He had a quick look, but didn't give the hand pass either. The ball comes in now to Powell. Powell's hand pass over the top goes to Thompson. Thompson running up towards centre wing. Richmond need a goal pretty quickly. Thompson's kick, a shocker off the side of his boot, out of bounds on the full. Free kick to be taken for Footscray by Wigney. It's Stuart Wigney to take the free kick. Player on the mark.
He's fine down just a little bit this year, Ian.
Yes, well, it's amazing what a bit of experience can do. I suppose it teaches them that they've got to put that hard work in to make their body a little bit stronger. The kick by Wigney. Finishes up with Wallace. Wallace up towards full forward. Campbell from behind. The bounce favours him off the ground, soccer style. He kicks his fourth.
Last year, if you invested in IOOF Super Choice Capital Stable, your money would have earned you 14.95% tax-free, if kept for 10 years. For investors in the highest tax bracket, that's like earning 28.89%. 28.89%. Big, isn't it? Want to know more? Call now, 008 012 011, or call into your nearest branch of IOOF.
Adrian Campbell, now 4 goals. We talked about his inaccuracy earlier, but he's kicked 3 in this last quarter to sew it up for the Bulldogs. They lead by 22 points, under 4 minutes left.
Also, Cousins doing a good job there at centre-half forward on that occasion.
Hogg marks in defence. Towards the outer wing. Kellett's looked pretty impressive.
Yep.
There's a bit of a wrestle. Footscray free kick. Richmond free kick.
It was a bad hand pass by Atkins to a stationary McGuinness, hence he was tackled.
Nichols takes it quickly to Smith. And he hits Egan on the chest just outside 50. He's taken the mark of the night. Can he kick the longest goal of the night? Be one of the longest. And he's kicked it a long way, but just short. No mark in the goal square. And it's seen through in defence by Justin Charles for a rush behind. Dale Waitman off the ground. Michael Roberts.
Yes, Dale Waitman took himself off the ground. He's suffering from bad cramp in the left leg.
Well, that's good. He should have plenty of time to get over cramp.
Stephen Wallace kicks it into the back pocket to Harrington. Poor effort there by Knights to tackle. Harrington shrugs it, kicks it out wide towards half-back. Mark to Eccleston. Eccleston kicks it quickly to the advantage of Foster. Foster now on centre wing, and the Bulldogs got out of defence pretty easily. Foster's kick up towards full forward, looking up there for Campbell. Intercepting well was Cousins. The big fellow tries to tap it onto the advantage of his teammate. Campbell's in there. Kick out there by, is that Powell? Powell's kick out towards centre wing. Foster pulled as he kicks the ball, and it goes off the side of his boot for a free kick to Richmond.
Not good play by Foster. He had Brunner on his right. He had Terry Wallace further down the ground. Could have used his hands on both occasions to find those players.
Fran Garlis kicks it back towards the wing area. Nearly the mark to Stockdale. Collected by Mitchell. Gives the hand pass long. Here's an opportunity for Powell. Hand passes back towards the Footscray goal, but Lee's there. Drop punt kick by Lee towards Egan. Tatsaris at the back. Here's an opportunity for Nichols, but the boundary line too close. And we'll have a throw in right on the 50-metre line within goal-scoring distance for the Tigers.
He's been a solid player tonight, Zeno Tatsaris.
Well, the Footscray fans who turned up in numbers tonight must reckon the trip from the western suburbs was worth it, because the Bulldogs are going to beat Richmond. Crowd of nearly 17,000 here tonight. punch from behind by Frangalis. Stockdale gets the hand pass off to Knights. Unmarked in between the wing and half forward is Smith. Egan with the sit. Couldn't take the mark. He's lost control of it. Steve Wallace. Well, the only thing out there is the logo. Players run onto it. And eventually Pym. To half forward, and the mark taken by Michael Thompson.
Game slowed down a little, Drew.
Under a minute and a half left. And it's the biggest margin of the night. 21 points.
Oh, my word, he's not a bad young prospect, is he, the way he moved with the ball then, Charles?
Yep. You were talking about him all night before even seeing him, and not disappointed, Don Scott, about young Justin Charles. Footscray up to the forward line again. Lees and Campbell. I suppose you'd have to say Lees has lost the battle, with Campbell kicking 3 in the last quarter, but it was a terrific battle. And here's Brian Lees going for a run. He's up forward of centre. Long kick to half forward, well delivered, and a good mark to James.
James on the favoured left foot, kicks it towards the front of the goals. Egan, a lone hand. Now we see someone in there to help Lambert, but there's about 5 Footscray players there. Hunter grabbed from behind by Knights, gets the kick away. Harrington looking at the play, gives the hand pass left to Foster. Now Hogg, who's been a good defender, still striving hard as Hogg. Atkins taps it out towards Eppleton. Eppleton has some sort of space. Back to Hogg. Hogg's left foot kick up towards centre wing. 1 against 3. Richmond should win out. They've got the numbers. Opportunity for Nichols. Nichols into the centre. Marcus taken by Powell. Powell now goes direct towards goal. Here's a Richmond player out in front. It's Honeybun. Leaves it for his teammate James. James' left foot kick is high, wide, and not very handsome for the Tigers because it's out of bounds on the full. And the free kick for Footscray will be taken by Stephen Wallace. One of the customers of the North Essendon News Agency is Stephen Wallace, accountant at Essendon Mazda out there in Keilor Road, and doing a pretty good job in defence for his side this evening. The short kick is marked by Hawkins, and there's the siren. Footscray run out winners.
Stay off the oval, please.
Well, a victory for Footscray, the club that was out of business last October. They were saved by the supporters with their show of numbers and money. And Footscray, back in the old red, white and blue, have had a first-up victory in 1990. 10 goals 15 to 8 goals 6 Richmond. So by the end it was a fairly comfortable victory to Footscray. But, well, all of those supporters I don't think will believe it was too comfortable, because they had to save the club and the players didn't let them down tonight. Footscray 10-15, defeating Richmond 8 goals 6. And a reminder that the Foster's Cup continues at VFL Park on Saturday night with the second match in the series. We hope you can join us. Eagles against Essendon on Saturday. Good night to you from VFL Park.
This has been a 7 Sport production for the Australian Television Network.